Oh, why is it taking forever? Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to the candy shop. Sunday tea. I'm Candace,
I'm Kanea.
and this is the Sunday tea. Today we are reviewing the Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 13, episode 1. I know we usually do movies, but I did say on an earlier show that we would start doing this this show because I love the Housewives franchise. I'm a big Bravo fan, even though lately it's come out that Andy is allegedly racist. I don't know. I don't. I'm not quick to throw terms like that on people. But I'm going to support this franchise. It's I like it. So my first question in the comments, I did ask, do you think this season will be good without Nene? And so a couple of people, well, Hannah commented. Let me go to her comment because she commented before the show even started. Let me go to it. And this was hilarious to me. She said, yes, I can't stand Nene. So a lot of people do not like Nene, but I love Nene. But getting into this show, you know what? Let's get right into it. So the show opens with them talking about the quarantine and Breonna Taylor and all of the protests. And I like the fact that they did that they recognized Breonna Taylor because we have to keep saying her name. The situation has not been resolved with the climate of what's going on. It's needed, and it's refreshing to know that these shows are acknowledging things that happen in the real world, even though some people say these shows are scripted. So what are your thoughts on that in the opening and what they open with?
With the opening, I feel like it was. I do agree with you in terms of the awareness piece. I do feel like it was a bit, cliche, and also I feel like um they didn't have a lot of content to begin with, so they were forced to use that throughout, not only in the beginning, but throughout the entire episode. It was bits and pieces that it was edited to make the episode have some type of substance. So I do appreciate the fact that they're still bringing an awareness to the Black Lives Matter movement. I don't even
Mm-hmm.
remember in the episode them saying Black Lives Matter. I do remember them saying BLM and showing BLM, but I don't actually remember anything that pointed out Black Lives Matter. But I do like the fact that they highlighted how Porsha is into the movement, and how it reminded her of, I think she said, her father, her grandfather, or something like that.
Yeah, and we'll get to that.
So
I was gonna say we'll get to that a little later because throughout
yeah.
this whole episode, did you notice that they all Portia was doing was protesting, and I thought that was good. So Kendrick said, well, he said, "Good evening, ladies. I don't watch anymore, but I like Portia Georgia Peach. Yes, shout out to the Georgia Peaches. I'm an honorary Georgia Peach since I live here. So shout out to Portia. Portia is my favorite person. And hey, Bree." Oh, long time no see. I guess you can say online, but she says, "Hey, stopping in to say hi. Just got home from work, and I have the Housewives tape right now, so I don't want to spoil it by watching. Have a great show. Thank you." So yeah, spoiler alert. Definitely make sure you watch tomorrow so you can get our opinions and comment. Bree, tell me what you think of the show. I want to hear your thoughts on it. So good night, Bree. Oh, I love her. She's like just the
A team
sweetest
player.
girl. Yes, I
Yeah,
don't
she's
know.
a team
She's
player.
it's so refreshing every time I see her comments. I'm not gonna lie. So so going to the next segment with the brunch at Cynthia's house. So it's Cynthia, Kandi, and Marlo. And this is what confused me about this now. They at Lake Bailey, but they're in Cynthia's driveway. So is it because of COVID that they're in her driveway? Like, I know they said they like the setup, but what do you think of that?
I think they were trying to acknowledge that COVID is, was in existence, but I didn't see any like real social distancing, and we definitely didn't see any social distancing from the boobies that kept popping out. But but I mean, to me, it looked ghetto, you know, for the, the money that they supposed to have. It looked a little ghetto and low budget to me. And why was it in her driveway and not in her backyard?
Yes, like with the lake in the background, because I would have been like, Cynthia, like, what's going on? Like, we can't go to your patio. Like she calls it Lake Bailey. So I would have wanted to see Lake Bailey. But Marla was funny. She was so extra coming in with that mask and all. She was coming in. She was like, let me take your temperature, even though that don't even matter now, the temperature, because somebody could have a normal temperature and still have COVID. But
Exactly.
it was funny. I can tell this was shot maybe in March, April, it appears, when at that time they thought that you had to check the temperature. Our trailer, Just Me TV, said, I think they just did that for TV. Laugh out loud. People in Atlanta don't social distance. Exactly. But our
I agree.
trail, I said on a previous show, the percentage of actually catching COVID in this area is 19%. My sister-in-law, when they came from Texas, she looked up all that stuff because they have 4 children, 2 daughters, and a set of twin sons. And so they were checking statistics before coming, and it's only 19%, which is surprising. I don't know what, I don't know if it's because celebrities get tested regularly and then they decide to go to these clubs, but it does not appear that COVID, like Atlanta is a hotspot for COVID. It's so weird. And hey, Hannah. So they get a call on that, in that segment, they get a call from Kenya, and Kenya's phone cuts out, and then it switches to her, and she's talking to her assistant or her friend Brandon, which I have never liked Brandon. I'm sorry, I don't like his character. And I remember one year he was like the father from Coming to America, whatever. But I do not like him because he is so messy. But anyways, she's talking about her relationship with Mark, and she's depressed. How do you feel about that?
I think that, it's karma, honestly. And I feel bad for her, but it's karma. And it's like, it seems like her karma is the way that she treats other people is because how she's treated. Because she used to be so nice, but now
Mm-hmm.
it's like she's just being a little a-hole. And so I feel like she's getting the karma that she deserves, and that things will be a little, she will be a little nicer if well, things will happen for her, in a better way if she was a little nicer to other people, and then in her marriage and all that other stuff, or whatever the relationship that they had for the baby will work out if she was a little nicer as well. And so I just think it's karma. I feel bad for her though, because in the previous season, he was terrible. I think he's
Yeah.
gay, but
I do too. I was just about to say that, and nothing against gay people, but he's one with like an attitude. But going to my cousin Monica's comment, she said, I don't think her phone cut out, and that's funny. The fact that you said it's karma, I don't think her phone cut out either. She just didn't feel like talking to them, and she just hung up. But I'm gonna read some of these comments. Hannah said Mark is trash. Yes, he definitely is. And I always thought their relationship was fake. I hate to say it because Kenya at one time was one of my favorite characters on, well, I said characters, cast members on Housewives of Atlanta. And I used to hate when people would say she was paying people or paying men to date her. But this situation with Mark definitely appears like she paid him, or I don't know. This man did not like her. Like, that's how it seemed. Monica also said, I think she got off the phone when she realized Cynthia had others there. Yeah, that could be it too. Because Marlo said something, and that's when Cynthia phone, like, that's when the phone cut off. Hannah said, I think that show brought the worst out in her. She was much nicer in the beginning. She needs to get off the show. They didn't have problems when they fired her. Um, I can kind of agree with that, but I don't know. Her husband is interesting, and Hannah said, I definitely think he's gay though, or gay too. I need my glasses, but I it's something strange about him. But moving on to the show, Kenya then meets up with her lawyer to go over basically their relationship and all of her options that she has. And they talk about how she's been married to him for 3 years, even though it seems like it's been longer than that. I don't know why, but they've been married for 3 years. They talk about custody, and they talk about, this is interesting. The producers ask her, what is his relationship like with his other children? And she was like, "That's a loaded question. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna answer that." When they said that, I was like, "Girl," I had to take a sip of my drink. I was like, "Girl, yeah, what is his relationship with his other kids?"
Exactly.
I was waiting to hear that. So, what are your thoughts on that, Miss K?
I think that she has a huge decision when it comes to if she wants to be divorced or separated, because her money is on the line with that. And
Mm-hmm.
so if I had to if I had to if I was her, I would choose the separation. I don't think she plans to get married again anyway. So if I was her, I would choose the separation. He might be planning on getting married to his boyfriend, so she can prevent that and be petty and just choose the separation. That's what I would
You
do. I'm
you
sorry, I'm
know
just joking. I'm just joking. That was a stretch.
the rumors in the blogs is that he has a whole nother woman with kids. That's the rumor, and that they're in New York. And I know we all think he's gay. Something is definitely off about him, but it's just messy. I'm gonna go to some more of these comments. Monica said Mark never wanted to be on the show. Exactly, he didn't want to be on the show because it would have exposed his relationship with Kenya. He's to me, he's an opportunist. When we get to the end of the show, we find out I think he's suing her for alimony, but we'll get to that later. So I think he even though Kenya was only on the Housewives, she's the first Miss Black USA. I still think he saw her out. Kenya, I guess regardless of how we feel about her, she has some clout. We cannot deny that, and he saw that. I'm just gonna say that. And Hannah said just 3 years. Woo. Wait, he has other children. Let me see. Exactly. Yeah, girl. It came out that he had other children. I think last year it was in the blogs. And she said him and Kim Field's husband both. No, I like Kim Field's husband. I know people used to say he was gay, but he actually reminds me of a cousin of mine that actually, I forgot to tell you, Kanea, my theme song. I need to have my cousin Curtis. Curtis, if you're watching, I need you to help me with my song. He made a song for me in my YouTube channel, but I have to figure out how to edit it. But going back to the show, after Kenya, they cut to Porsha protesting again with Breonna Taylor. And I'll say this, that is, for me, seeing Porsha do that, it was scary for me because you never know what's going to happen. We know that she got arrested eventually, but that is still scary. It's like, I'm not, I'm not gonna. I don't want to say something negative about it, but it puts a downer on the episode because that is real life, and she is on the front line, putting her life on the line to protest, and I commend her for that. And this is where it cuts to her. I think her father or grandfather and everything that he did with the protesting. She shows herself with her grandfather as a little girl in a Ku Klux Klan. I can't even say it. The Ku Klux Klan coming here and doing protests, and she wondering why they're here. And everyone knows the headquarters of the Ku Klux Klan or KKK are here in the Stone Mountain area. So it's a wake up call. It's real, and it's even as much as I don't want to see it because I want to kiki and just laugh about the show, but it definitely puts a lot of things into perspective. So, what are your thoughts on that?
I think that again, I just wanted to say I think that she's doing a very good job in what she's doing, and I appreciate. I hope that this is just the introduction in terms of the work that she's doing, and I hope they didn't just use it as a filler for the first episode. Because to me, that's the feeling that I'm getting, that they just used it as a filler for the first episode, and then from now on, they're gonna go right into the drama. I liked it because I feel like it was a positive aspect in a new light for reality TV, because that was one of the main reasons why I stopped watching Real Housewives and New York hip hop New York and all that hip hop and all that other crap, because it was just a negative look for Black women. But I really do agree, and I feel like that it was a good job for them to introduce it, and I hope that it's not going to just go away after this episode, because you know how they do. They always have to dive right into the drama, which the drama is entertaining. It keeps me awake. But the stuff that she's actually doing, because we only got a glimpse of it from watching her Instagram page and social media and hearing about it on the news and things like that. So hopefully, again, the show dives deep into the actual movement that her and Yandy were trying to accomplish.
I agree. I definitely hope it's not a filler. I hope it's not, because at the time they were taping the show, the climate of everything that was going on, it was definitely protest. So I'm going to hope that it was not a filler. I am going to talk about a scene that I did think was a filler a little later. But going back right after Porsha protesting, they cut to a clip of Candi and her daughter Riley talking about Riley's father. And I thought that was interesting because lately Block, who is Riley's father, I think he's a producer, has been in the blogs for talking about how every time they get boring on the show, they use him as a storyline. So when I when I saw them talking about him, I was like, oh shoot, let me take another drink. Like, this is getting stressful. Because with this show, even though to me this episode was a little mediocre, all of the hype, it's been a lot of drama outside of the show with the new cast members, with Block. It's been, and Porsha getting arrested. A lot has happened outside of the taping, and so it's like, to watch the show, it to me, it still makes it good. It connects the dots of all the bull that's been going on in the blogs. I will say that.
Yep, I agree. And it was kind of refreshing to see Candi get a little emotional because she's so hard. She reminds me of myself. She's just like, she's a businesswoman. She rarely shows emotion, and if she does show emotion, it seems like she's just ready to fight. So for her to show the emotion when it comes to Riley, I love that name, by the way.
Yeah.
It was a little refreshing, and I appreciated that part. I didn't really necessarily feel like it was a filler, but I could see how he would say that. But I
Mm-hmm.
mean, if it's going on in her life at the time when they're taping, it's just going on. I don't think you can't get around it.
Yeah. And he made his comments. For those who don't know, if you follow him on IG, he made his comments on IG, and he basically said, he just sounds so like negative, and I don't know, like, this girl is like close to 18. How can you be negative now? Like, it's been many, many years. At some point you got to get over it. But going into that scene, Riley, and I love this, is going to NYU. She's going to be a lawyer, and I love that. Come on, the next Stacey Abrams, Michelle Obama. Come on, Riley, do that. So I love that. I love everything about what Candi is doing with her children, regardless of how, because I know some people talk about Candi, but Candi, even though at times she was not one of my favorites on this show, she is one of my favorites. I'm not gonna lie, because she is a business lady. She knows what she is doing, and she is raising her children to be positive people. They represent our race, not to make it a black or white thing, but I love what she's doing, and it's very positive, and I wish they would spotlight that. So I'm gonna spotlight it on my show, because Riley is a young black woman and she's doing a damn thing. So Candi starts to talk about, oh, I'm missing some of the comments. But Candi starts to talk about how Block owes her 10 years of back child support, which equals up to close to $100,000. Wow. Like, how do you get that far behind in child support? Like, I don't see it. And thank you, Hannah. But I they said Block was riding around in a Bentley. Oh, I'm shaking my laptop. Block was riding around in a Bentley and all this other stuff. He cares about his other kids. And it's sad. And like you said, Candi gets very emotional about this. And it's sad to see that, because, as a mother, I'm not even going to say as a black mother, because women, we go through this period. It's not just black women that go through it. But as a mother, to see your child go through not having their father there, and their father choosing other children over them, that's one of the hardest things to see, because as a mother, we can't be their father. I'm not one of those mothers that say I'm the mother and the father. The father has his place. And so it's sad when it affects your child. You can't save them from that because it's nothing else you can do. But what are your thoughts on that scene? I know you started to talk about it, but what are you thinking?
Yep, I feel like I feel like Riley is handling it well from what we can see on camera. And I do feel like Candi hides a lot of she does a very good job in hiding her emotions for that camera. And I can tell that she is such a professional that she hides her emotions on that camera. And I know you're going to talk about some of the other parts of the episode, but I want to highlight how she was still able to hide her emotions even then. But I feel like he's petty, and I feel like he's going to regret once Riley comes into more of her womanhood and gets her career and things like that. He's going to regret not taking the opportunity when he had it. And hopefully he does not wait too long. And the social media thing, like venting the social media, I know it's YouTube, but that's straight up a biatch move, 100%. Like for a man to run the social media, like social media is just the grand jury and the judge. Social media is not that. Social media is just for entertainment purposes. So why does he feel like he has to run a social media and explain himself instead of just handling it like a man? You know what I'm saying? And then $100,000 in back child support. I think that it's easy to do when you have a woman that's such a strong breadwinning woman like Candi. It's easy for him to slip under the wayside and not pay the child support because I feel like some men who have women who make money, I feel like they will just they feel like they don't have to pay because the baby is still being well taken care of. So why do I have to? The baby is straight. They don't need me. That's how I feel like he's thinking. Like they don't need my money because Candi makes enough money. You know what I'm saying?
The rumor with him is Candi messed with him when he was married to another woman. So she was the mistress and she ended up getting pregnant. Now that's the rumor. Allegedly that's what happened. I'm not sure what happened, but they had a child and he needs to take care of his child. Point blank. Point blank, period. So in that scene though, I like what Todd said. He was saying, because Candi was pushing communication with the father. She was telling Riley that she needs to kind of initiate or talk to him. If he responds, talk to him. I like that Todd said she needs to do whatever is comfortable for her, and that because with his daughter, he met her when she was older in age. And it's so crazy. Now I know they talk about Todd in these streets and all this other stuff, and he had this whole different name, but I have always liked Todd. He seems like the voice of reason at times, and he was the voice of reason in that moment because he went through that with his own daughter. And if you look at the blogs with that, they be saying how they don't include her. And people forget that this girl has her own mother. She has her own family. Todd is married to Candi, and I feel like they do enough for the daughter, his daughter, or whatever. People are it's a trip to me what people do. And it's like when you do that, you're forgetting the other parent when you do that. But from that scene, they had moved to Porsha protesting again, which I was more scared. Like every time they showed her protesting, I'm like, oh my God, is she about to be arrested? Like what's going on? Because she's on the front line, and it made the show so serious. And I commend Porsha, like I said before, I commend Porsha for stepping out there, standing up for Breonna Taylor because it affected her a lot. If we all know the story of Breonna Taylor, she was asleep in her bed, and these police officers came because they thought her house was a drug house or whatever, and they shot her. And she was already a person working on the front lines. And so I love it. If it's a filler, keep filling it with that. Keep filling it with Breonna Taylor because we have to keep saying her name. I will say that. So now I'm gonna talk about a filler scene for real. Kenya in this pool. Like, what was the point of that? That was a filler scene. We got to see her showing them her pool, and then I feel like Bravo was a little shady showing those arrows of the different her daughter's play area of the pool. Right, like that is Andy, whoever. It's hilarious. They were a little shady, but that was a filler scene to me with Kenya in that pool. Tell me what you thought about that.
I do feel like it was a filler, and I feel like I think that they're trying to, I don't know. I feel like they're trying to just hold on to Kenya being messy rather than allowing Kenya to be the innocent Kenya that she is. I really do think she's innocent, and I really think that they're just they have to have a villain, because you know who the villain was before? Nene.
Nene.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so now, who is the villain going to be?
Kenya.
Gone like the wind. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'll say this, and I did like when it cut to her talking about her taking her child daily to see, what's the baby's name? I called her daily. What's that baby's name? I hate that I didn't write it down. But taking the baby to see Mark, and Candy told her, like, no, he should be coming down here to see you. And sorry, people, I did write notes on this show. I didn't realize my notebook was showing until I just turned the page. But here comes my daughter. But in that scene, I did think, where are the new cast members? Because it's supposed to be new cast members on this show, so I'll let you talk about that. I'm gonna get my little daughter settled, but I want to know what your thoughts are on where these new cast members were.
I think they gotta smooth us along with they have to tie season 12 into season 13. And the only way to do that is to continue to talk about what's going on with the older cast members, and then they will ease in the new cast members. Because season 12, right before this episode aired, they showed the last episode of season 12. And so it was like unfinished business. So this episode kind of tied up the ends, which is what we needed. And so I feel like the editing and the producers did a good job with not bringing on the new cast members so fast, because it will feel like it was rushed, and they have to make the season, last throughout the whole season. So I feel like they did a good job with that. I didn't really want to hear about the new people at first, because we still holding on to Nene. You know what I'm saying? And so it's and then the whole situation with Kenya and Eva and the season. I'm still holding on to season 12. Season 12, the last episode was just great. How Kenya was just being so messy, and so that's how it left off. And then that's how we still wanted to get a piece of that.
Yeah, I agree. And yes, Hannah Drusadora is the cast member. Now, the other lady that is from YouTube, apparently she doesn't have a peach, because if you look at the photo I posted, let me see if I can. Well, you know what? I'm not going to try to go to it because it'll take too much. But it's just Cynthia, Porsha, Candi, who else? Kenya, and Drusadora, the 5 of them. And yes, Eva did leave. Eva didn't leave yet. Yes, no, Eva is gone. I listened to Ricky Smiley, so she made that announcement on Ricky Smiley. She said the show was too much drama, but to be completely honest, Eva was boring. I loved her on Top Model, but seeing her and in her element of what she really is, she's kind of boring. And she's very. Have you noticed she has an elitist personality? Like, she would make comments about nappy-headed chicks and light-skinned chicks and all this other stuff. And it seemed like she was a colorist and an elitist. And I didn't like that. And remember, originally, years ago when we watched Top Model, they tried to say that she's not as nice as they are editing her.
Yes.
Eva is
that.
Yes. Eva is a very beautiful woman and a very beautiful Black woman. And I just hope that she's this elitist attitude that she comes with, especially seeing it on the show, because she says some comments about Porsha's friend Shamia. So I just hope that she's learned from it. She chose to leave the show because she said it was too much drama, and maybe that was the best thing from her, because it was exposing who she really was. You see, she got a whole light-skinned family. Nothing against light-skinned people, but We need some color, melanin. So I do want to get to some of these comments. Arturo said Drew seems cute. I'm excited to see her with Porsha and Tanya. I like Drew until I don't know if y'all remember the game. She was Derwin was cheating on Melanie with Drew Sidora.
Yeah, and then Drew went ahead and cheated. Drew got with Melanie's new boyfriend. Remember that on the newer episodes? And so
Yeah.
I'm excited to see Drew because I want to see her. I want to see her and not compare her to her who she was playing on the game because that's the only thing I see in my brain.
I'm trying to think. Drew Sidora reminds me of what's her name from Destiny's Child, the one of the girls that was kicked out originally.
With the light eyes.
I think so. What's her name?
Yeah, I know. I don't know her name. Huh?
Latoya Luckett. That's actually who she reminds me of.
Really? Oh wow.
Yes. But I want to go back to the show, and excuse me if you heard my burp. I'm trying to get rid of. But the next scene. Oh, I do want to look at some of these comments. So Arturo laugh out loud. What did Kenny say? He said, "Leave Drew Sidora alone. That's my boo." Whatever, Kenny.
She's a side chick.
Good man. Hannah said, I like Drew, but on her IG, her and her husband do too much. Yes, I just saw something today where they was in the kitchen dancing, and I was like, okay. And yes, Hannah was right. She knew I was talking about Latoya Luckett. But going back to the show, we cut to Cynthia and her assistant and Mike. Just talking. She has the assistant leave. Mike is talking about how he likes seeing her ass. I cringed a little bit. I don't like him. Have you noticed he always refers to her sexually on the show? And I understand that she's older, but like have some class. It just seemed like he's all about the ass. I'm sorry. And then he was talking about their sex thing, their sex life. And it was just real cringy to me. He said he sounded like a car. He said she sounded like a car engine or something like that. Oh, my cousin Kenny said, I'm a side. Kenny, come on now. But Hannah said, are we going to speak on Latoya drop Walker off her? Wait, what happened? And she no longer wears her ring. Her man was cheating on her. So I know why she don't wear her ring. She said, I don't really like Mike either. This is Arturo. He seems like a player. He does. And did y'all know in the blogs, it came out like him and Cynthia were on a live and another chick like called him or something, was like, Mike, what are you doing? Me and my daughter miss you. And did you see that? It was just like a few weeks ago. I felt like a Porsha woman, like, who said that?
How about this woman?
Yes. And Cynthia was right there with him. Like, what's going on? It was so I don't like him. I'm sorry. He just seems like a little snake to me. Yes. And Hannah said Mike is a player. And she said Mike was her happily ever after. She learned that in the quarantine. And they talked about their wedding. You know, she was 250 people. And at that time, Atlanta had put a cap on it and said you can only have like 50 people. And so she talked about how her wedding with Peter, she hated it. It was not a good experience. Her family hid her license from her. And so she's wanting the real wedding. And he asked her, are you concerned more about the wedding or the marriage? And so what are your thoughts on that?
I feel like, I don't know. I think their relationship is like paper, like shallow. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's gonna last. I mean, I hope that it does. She looks good with the weight that she gained. I will say that. She looks so much. I'm not gonna say she looks better. She looks good. I like the weight that she's gained. And when her boobie kept popping out, I was like, ain't nothing wrong with that, because I like it when I gain my weight like that. That's why after I had the baby, I ate whatever I want, because she made me lose like 20 pounds and I wanted to make sure I gained 30 back.
I don't, because Kanan, you're small, but I gained quarantine weight as well. And since I've had my baby, because when I was pregnant, food for some reason did not taste good, so I didn't eat. So I actually lost weight. But since having the baby, I've gained weight because I'm just eating everything. So I'm on a weight plan. I was gonna go in eating today, and I was like, "You don't want to eat that." He said it nicely, but I want to go to some of these comments. Arturo said, I agree. They seem like they like the idea of each other. They do, but the marriage, it just seems fake. It's cringy. Like, even from the previous season, he was talking a lot about sex. And the previous season, I hated when they had that dinner when all his female friends came and they were talking about how basically he was a hoe and a cheater in front of his kids. Did you remember that?
No, I had stopped
Oh,
watching it.
yeah.
I just picked up at the very end of season 12 just to watch this episode. And Hannah previously, she just said that Greg was her favorite, and she said
Well,
one of the
she's suing Greg now. Did y'all know that? She's suing him.
yes. I think that I don't know if I don't know. I wonder if her current husband is putting her up to that because Greg don't got no money.
And I want him to be on my show. I have a close friend that is very close friends with Greg. And I've reached out to Greg, or why am I saying Greg? Peter. Peter is his name. I have a very close friend that is friends with Peter. I'm gonna get him on my show. I have to. So hopefully that will be soon. We will have Peter on the show to explain himself. But she's suing Peter. I don't know why I said Greg. That's Nene's
Yeah,
husband.
I was saying it too. It's my little Chardonnay talking. But I
Well,
mean, okay.
I'm
I
I,
hate to
I'm
talk about
drinking
past
brown liquor
episodes.
tonight.
What you drinking?
Brown liquor tonight, Cavassier. Brown
Ah,
for the pretty brown girls on the Housewives of Atlanta. I have on black, representing the black that they wore in their photos. So
I feel like Peter was just trying to do what he had to do because he's the man and he wanted to do new business ventures and things like that. And men sometimes men want to go into business for themselves. There's nothing wrong with that. For her to try to sue him though, I don't that they were married at the time. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with it. Like
yeah.
just let it go. Like he was
It,
trying.
exactly. So I want to finish the show and then we'll go off into our own comments about everything. So it goes back to Candi in her restaurant, the Blaze restaurant that she's opening up in her daughter's name. Which is, am I freezing?
No.
Oh, okay. In her daughter's name. And now, I don't know if you've seen on the blogs, the restaurant is finished. And so I think you can go to the restaurant now. But I thought that was cute. And then we found out that Cynthia called her when we find out Porsha is in jail. And then they cussed to Porsha in jail. She was in jail for 13 hours, which is a lot. And she talks about her experience. And did y'all notice in the whole episode, her voice sounded hoarse? So I'm wondering if she's one of the castmates with like COVID, because they shut the show down because of people having COVID on the show.
When I first started watching the episode, I said, why do all of them sound like, not all of them, but Nene and Porsha.
Nene, was Nene on the show?
No, I'm sorry. It was definitely Porsha and somebody else. They sounded like they're, how it sounds when you're not breathing or like you have congestion.
Nasally. Yeah.
Yes. I was like, why do they all sound like that? And I thought it was just something to do with, I don't know. I didn't correlate it to COVID though.
Well, the show got shut down. Taping got shut down because they said the production had COVID. But I'm assuming some of the castmates had COVID, and Porsha sounds sick. So I'm wondering if she's one of the ones that has COVID. She was going to these protests, which I commend her for that, but COVID was still there. Like, hello, I'm still here. Same with the little restaurant in Dallas. COVID didn't stop at the door. It's in the restaurant too. But that was the end of the show. What did you think of the trailer for the rest of the season?
I think it was nice. I think everything was subtle. I do like it that they're not really highlighting on too much drama. I appreciate that, and I feel like it fits for our age group.
Yeah,
That's
I
how I
agree.
feel.
I was questionable about Drew Sidora joining the show because she's not to me a real star, but but I think I'm gonna like her on the show. I like Drew Sidora. I feel like she's very underrated, and so I think it's gonna be good. Cynthia's wedding, we know it happens because we saw a lot of everything in the blog. So I think this season is gonna be good. The whole situation with Tanya and Porsha with the stripper and Kenya alleging that, I think that's gonna be some mess. I don't think it really happened. I think Kenya just said that to get like stuff like hype for the show because that stripper came out. If you guys watch the blogs, the stripper came out and said that none of that happened. Tanya gets upset about it. So I can't wait to see Tanya on the show. I can't wait to see the rest of the cast. I hate that production gets shut down. So we'll see how this season goes. But I think it's gonna be a good season. And I posed a question saying that will the show be good with Nene gone? Yes, I know the show will be good with Nene gone. Nene is one of my favorites, but the show will still move on because all of those ladies are good. So that's that on that. What are your thoughts?
I feel like I think that I think Nene. I mean, why do I keep saying Nene? Kenya is going to be the new villain. I think they're setting it up for that. I don't like the fact that they have to have a freaking villain because I don't like that. It just seems like they always got to have that one person that is
They have
just.
they have the one you can't sit with us type person. So
She
I
and she don't she's
okay.
gonna need some women to be on her side because she's going through this with her husband, and so for her to just try to cause all this drama, I don't know. I don't like that. I don't know if they're just creating it, the producers with the editing, or if she's actually like that.
I think for the show she's like that. To me, Kenya is a very smart woman. She's worked in movie production. She's done a lot. So she understands what it takes to be on a show like this. So I think that's her. I don't think the producers had to push her to do that. But RHOA says that story is weak anyway. It is. I honestly wouldn't care if they had a threesome. We hear about that so much nowadays that it isn't interesting. Exactly. The menage a trois, it is not that interesting. I guess Kenya is trying to, the fact that it's Tanya, which Tanya is supposed to be with her fiance that Kenya tried to expose on the previous season, and Porsha, who's off and on with Dennis with the stripper, it is a little juicy. It's a little salacious. I'm not gonna lie, because it's like, what is going on? Why are they hooking up together? We already knew from previous seasons that Porsha likes to hook up, even though she tried to expose Candi on a previous season. Um, I can tell Porsha likes the ladies. I'm not gonna lie.
You know,
But now it seems like Kenya has a vendetta against, and she tried to, like I said, she tried to expose Tanya's man before and brought that cookie lady. Were you watching it then? When she brought the cookie lady on that so-called talked to Tanya's fiance, like it was so messy. And she called uh Tanya a cunt. I'm not gonna say the word, but Kenya called Tanya that. So it was crazy. Hannah says, I believe it's only because she used to be with Todd and Candi. Who, Kenya or Porsha? Porsha used to be with Todd and Candi. And Hannah said they need drama for the show. Someone has to be all reality shows has them. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and Nene, I hate that. Nene was my favorite character. I'm gonna stop saying I'm not gonna lie. It's a fact. Nene was my favorite character. I love me some Nene. She's the original Housewives of Atlanta. She brought the entertainment. She had all those taglines, the bloop, and like all of that.
Yeah,
So
it's definitely not gonna be the same without her. She was like the ketchup on the burger or the hot wing sauce on the hot wing. Like
she
it
was the
whenever you
glue. She was the glue that kept
yeah,
everybody together
whenever you hear Real Housewives
of
space,
Atlanta.
space anything, I automatically think about Nene first. I don't think about any other Real Housewives or nothing. Real Housewives is a household name, and for me, Nene goes along with that.
Yes. So when COVID is over, I will be going to Lanithia Lounge. I think that's what she calls it. She has a new lounge here in Atlanta. So I'll be going. I'm going to try whatever drink she got. And I'm a supporter because I love Miss Nene.
Yeah,
Um,
try to take some video for us.
yes, I will. I will. So what else do you want to talk about? That was the show. I think this season will be good. I hate that it's cut short. But I think it's gonna be good. The first episode, even though it had a lot of fillers, because I know you felt like the protest scenes were fillers. I felt like Kenya's scene was a filler scene, but I still think it's gonna be good because we didn't even get to the new cast yet. So I'm like, damn, they must have some content.
Exactly. Yeah, I want to hear about the new cast because I do feel like it's kind of boring without Nene. So I'm excited to have the new cast come and shake some things up. I haven't really done any research in terms of like the age for the new cast members.
Well, I think
Compared to the older cast members.
Drew Sidora is around our age, but I want to read Hannah's comment. She said, "I love Sheree." I did too with that. Who gonna check me, boo? Because you know Sheree is from the Midwest. She's from Ohio. Um, she said, "I don't like Nene, however, she is the show." Yes, but yeah, I love me some Sheree because when she pulled that wig off a wig, no, off of what was the lady's name? Because I just know her as Wig. What Nene called her? Tardy for the party. Kim, was that her
Oh
name?
yes.
I don't want to say it. You know how I feel about Kim's. But when she pulled that wig off of Kim, I thought that was hilarious. And when she went off on that man and said, "Who gonna check me, boo?" That's my all-time favorite scene. Some of my all-time favorite scenes with her. I mean, some of my all-time favorite scenes with the Housewives are her. Because remember, she was dating a doctor, and they were like, "So you're a doctor?" And he was like, "Yes, yes, yes, Brie, it was Kim." Oh, thank you for coming back. And then Hannah said she was my fave. Laugh out loud. Bye, wig. Yes. When Nene said that, I cracked up. Nene was hilarious to me.
Yep, the shade was definitely real whenever she was on any episode.
Yes, but I like Kim too sometimes. I like the old cast. I'm not gonna lie. I like everybody, even Deshawn Snow. I know y'all don't remember Deshawn Snow, but she was from the original Housewives of Atlanta. Remember, she had that auction, and they were waiting for bids, and she was just looking, and nobody was bidding nothing.
I remember that. I gotta go back and watch. I gotta go find it.
Yes, Deshawn Snow was one of the only ones with money for real. But that's it. We're gonna end it here. Did you have anything else that you want to talk about? On Hannah just said the Queen of Shade. Yes. But tomorrow is our media Monday where we talk about the hot topics or whatever is trending. I don't know if we'll do what's trending on the Shade Room. I'm going to talk about what's trending on YouTube. And right now, Kevin Samuels is still trending. Kane, I want to know what your thoughts are on Kevin Samuels.
So, Kevin, KK, I don't know what I'm going to call him. I think that Kevin Samuels is, a great businessman. He's an opportunist, 100%. He is definitely cashing in on what's going on nowadays. And the quarantine and COVID and all this stuff is absolutely helping him out 100%. I will say I like the BMW that he's driving. I'm a German German vehicle fan. I his new name for me is going to be Dr. Phil Harvey because I feel like he fake want to be a doctor, but then he also wants to give relationship advice, but only for Black women. And it's in the simple fact that he was, I don't know, I think he's going live tonight, or he already did. I'm going to try to go back and find it, that his live was talking about why men don't go to church anymore, because they can't find anything that they can get out of going to church. And the reason why they were going to church in the first place is because that was the place to find a woman. Yes. So a lot of the things that he comes out of his mouth, if I listen to it, it's for entertainment purposes only, baby. If you are looking for that man, listening to him for real life advice, bad
Yeah.
idea. I
Yes,
definitely don't agree with that.
I don't agree with it either. And like Hannah said, she said she found a video of him going off on or going in on a man as well. He does. He goes in on men and women. To me, it's entertainment. This man, from what I've seen, is a fraud. But we we won't talk about that because on one of my previous episodes or shows, people went in on me for talking about him. I shouldn't say people, but men went in on me. My views, like I said before, what he said to that woman were facts because that is how a man thinks. It's not, even though we might feel like it's not right, but those were facts. It was the hard truth of how men think. But as a woman, we have control over that somewhat. And if you watch one of my other videos, I say that. Like, if you want a six-figure man, there's some things that you're going to have to do to get that man. So that's all I have to say on that. Kevin Samuels is trending just like him and Derrick Jackson are one and the same. Derrick Jackson is about the upliftment of women. Tuskegee graduate. I have to point that out. Kevin Samuels is about upliftment of the high value man. So to me, it's all a gimmick. They've learned what works for them and what they can sell and what gets them views. And so I hope that people really take a look at what they're saying and know that, and I'll just say dissect it for themselves. But yes, Hannah said good entertainment. I don't have nothing else to say. I think this show was good. We talked about Housewives in detail. Tomorrow's Mimosa Mondays where we'll talk about, and I'm gonna say Messy Monday. I don't care if goddamn Zoe says it. It's Messy Monday for me too. But we make mimosas with it because we're pretty girls. So yeah. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the Candy Shop. I have a lot of different content. Sometimes you might not agree, but I'm gonna look at everything with an unbiased opinion and look at it from all perspectives and then give my opinion on it. So make sure you check in. Oh yes, Kevin Samuels is suspect. Let me drink my drink on that. Yes, girl, he is very suspect. He was asking a man, did he had a big thing? So that says a lot. That says a lot. But thank you all for watching. Definitely make sure you subscribe and click the like button. And good night.
Good night.